Ian, we have a Patreon poll topic. How do you access the Patreon? You know this.
You go to patreon.com/CU podcast, and then along the side, it'll give you many options of things you can buy from us.
It's not Ian, it's not a store. You're not getting something directly in return. You know, it's not you're not getting something in the mail. I think some Patreons, they do that and they send out. So maybe I should do that. Should I Patreon where I'll send you an NES game? Is that something illegal? Can I do that? I got tons. I'll send you a box system I have laying around. I could do that. A grab bag. I used to do that on the DVDs. I say, here's your grab bag of games.
You provide us the cashish. We provide you the entertainment.
In theory, you get the full video podcast here. That you don't. Sometimes some stuff doesn't make the cut on YouTube.
Yeah.
This is an audio podcast, by the way. I have to remind you. Listen to us while you're in the car. You can't watch it on your phone and get an accident. You listen to us in your car via Bluetooth. All right. So this was a respectable race, 3-way race. It's like for Parliament. You get 3 neck and neck. I don't know. We don't have a Parliament. I don't mind the parliamentary system. I wouldn't mind us trying to look into that coalition government so we actually get shit done. Anyway, sorry. This is like me talking to Brent about politics. In third place, 26%. What would Pat and Ian do with the Infinity Gauntlet? Now, would we be sharing it, or would we like hand it off to each other? Can I make him disappear? 26%. In second place, at 30%, you can guess, what would a CU podcast movie look like?
The world may never know.
We'll never know. And at number 1, what annoyed you the most about playing video games with other kids at 44%? Ian, what annoyed you the most about playing?
Kevin accidentally kicking the Nintendo when I'd be beating him. Happened on multiple occasions.
What games would your Kevin do?
It would be anytime I'd beat him in like a hockey game or a baseball game.
You know how good you are at ice hockey, so I can see that.
I'm fantastic at ice hockey. Just boom. The game reset. It's like, no, dude, you nudged it with your foot on purpose.
Will you be playing on the floor?
We'd be like sitting, and it happened a couple times. Like he would extend his foot, and just like it never happened when he was losing, or it never happened when he was winning. Only when he was losing.
So did you figure out maybe to like sit in between him and the NES?
Yeah.
And then it stopped happening?
And then it stopped happening quite so much. Or I'd be like, let's sit further back. One time I noticed he was like getting shuffly, and I was like, no.
You knew he was doing... He knew you knew?
Yes.
Okay.
And
how old were you? Like 8, 10?
We were like 8 or 10. Yeah.
There's no excuse. You don't cheat at board games or video games like that. You don't do it.
No. Also, whenever I'd be winning against Kevin, he would say that I was cheating. I mean, that's a famous one. Yeah, you're cheating. Oh, it's uneasy. No, Kevin, I'm just beating you once. I'm just beating you.
Was it neck and neck for a lot of those, or just?
I mean, some of them. I mean, I've never been good at video games. And whenever I would get close to achieving something, or Kevin would downplay it.
Yeah, that's the competitive nature.
I'm tired.
He wouldn't give you that moment. Go like, good job, buddy. You finally beat that double dribble. What else did you play against him?
Lots of sports stuff.
Tecmo Bowl.
WrestleMania.
WWF WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's not a game worth trying to
win. No one wins when you play a two-player scene. That game is awful.
Also, here you have the shitty controller. That's
was one controller really in that much worse shape?
That was more like N64 era.
I was gonna say because Nintendo controllers take a beating.
No.
Super Nintendo's not as much, but Nintendo
it'd be like
NES will take a beating.
Have the third-party controller.
Oh
no.
Have the ASCII one where it feels all weird on the stick.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I don't want that. Even though you probably do just as fine, but you're not used to it when you're playing GoldenEye, right?
Yep.
Those are the ones for you that annoyed you the most.
Oh yeah, those annoyed me greatly.
How about just not letting you play?
Yep.
If you're at a party with like 4 or 5 kids, or just hanging out, our group of hangouts with kids was usually 3 to 5 or 6 when we just hang out, ride our bikes over next town. We'll just say 4 or 5
3
kids.
to 5 is a lot. Yeah, that's about right.
And how about you just pass the controller around, Kevin? I had a Kevin too. Or make sure the other kid passed the controller around. It was his older brother, Quinn, that was a dick.
Oh, Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn and Kevin. Irish kids. Quinn tried to bully me a lot. I was scared of Quinn. Because he was like 3 years older, 2 or 3 years older. When you're a kid, 8 to 11 is a big jump.
Yeah, it is.
In stature.
It's huge.
That's like 3 weight classes up when you're a kid. He tried to intimidate Kevin and attacked him, and I was always afraid. So, he wouldn't let you play every now and then. And NES was in Quinn's room sometimes. It sucked because he had to deal with the brother, and he was an ass about it. He was fiery. And I'm sorry, this is not the topic we had. Oh, no, you're playing games with other kids. My sister, though, would almost never let me be first player.
Oh, really?
I mean, ever. And she bossed me around too. She was 4 years older, and she was basically bigger. She had the hammer punches. Girls had the hammer punch. Bad form, but this still hurts. The hammer punch.
It does hurt.
She had the 1, 2, 3, 4 combo. 2 right, 1 left, 1 right. You better stay out of her way. And so it was mostly Super Mario Brothers. I'm trying to remember other games, but she was not good at sharing that first player. So that's one of the reasons I love Luigi, because I played Luigi a lot when I was a kid. And it was my NES. That was mine.
Of course.
My system and my game. I asked for Christmas. You asked for whatever the hell you asked for. Your fucking, your Barbie or whatever. Now you've been 11. No, you still had Barbies when you were 11. I was 7 and got the NES. She made me get her Barbies for her from upstairs when she was outside with her friends. See, I was the only boy my age in the neighborhood. And it was a bunch of girls. Probably like 7 to 8 girls that between 2 years of my age. All the other boys were like 3, 4, 5 years older. So I couldn't really hang out with them that much. Yeah, played like street hockey or street tennis, but that's about it. So a lot of times I'd be hanging out with all these girls, and they'd have their Barbies out down the street. My sister would say, "Patrick, go get my Barbies or I'll beat you up."
Wow. Nice.
And she meant it too. Never got to that point though, because little plucky Pat, thick but quick, I'd run up, get my sister her Barbies, and deliver them to the rest of the girls there. Sorry, it's coming therapy right now.
Yep.
I never would do that to a little sibling. I don't think I'd have it in to be a bully. My sister was a bully. My sister was a little bit of a bully when it came to that stuff. Sorry, what I was talking about. We're talking about what do you hate with other kids? Hogging the game. Let's pass the controller every now and then.
Yeah, I had a friend. It was that friend. Everyone had that rich friend when you were younger, and he had all the weirder systems that you didn't have. Like
I had one kid. One kid had the turbo.
His name was Aaron, and I remember going over to Aaron's place, and he'd be like, "Look at this TurboGrafx 16," and I'd be like, "Oh, sweet." But we're not going to play that right now.
Oh.
Or how about the Sega Master System? Let me show you Roston. And I'm just going to play Roston
and show
for
you
45 minutes
and you
not
have to
let
watch.
you play. Yeah.
And you're like,
I think I
thought
never.
Roston was super expensive. Just no one had it. No one had the Master System.
No one had the Master System. It was something new,
something different.
And it was like I got to sit over there and watch him play with his toys for 3 hours and then go home.
Oh, it was just the two of you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the worst too. Like.
And you put up with it. You felt privileged to be in his presence.
No, I was just. That's why I only hung out with him like twice. I knew him in school, but
did he have other friends that he would try this with?
I don't think he had many friends. No.
Maybe he realized he was a douche. He didn't realize he was a douchebag.
Anyway, yeah. So it's bad.
My friend Billy let me play the Genesis though a lot. We play NHL games and.
You had a Billy?
I had a Billy. Billy's different than a Kevin.
Billies are definitely
but
different.
They're bad in different ways.
Yes, exactly.
Because Billy's can turn on you.
My Billy turned on me huge.
Kevin's are just dicks.
Yep.
They may not turn on you. Kevin's are dicks. Billy's can turn on you.
My Billy was my friend, and then one day in school he called me a goody two shoes. I think this was like 2nd or 3rd grade, and I was like, no, I'm done with this. And then so one of my other friends took a Hostess cupcake, unwrapped it, and placed it on his seat in the lunchroom, and Billy sat on the cupcake and got his pants all chocolatey and creamy, and he cried and cried and cried. He had to use the loaner pants.
So they had loaner pants?
Oh, yeah, loaner pants are a thing.
But your Billy was your same age. Mine was 2 years older.
Oh, okay.
Mine was 2 years older. So just old enough to still hang out with and play games, but he's physically stronger than you. So he can just get mad at you for no reason and throw your ass to the ground.
See, this
and
Billy...
you can't do anything about it.
This Billy was that way, too. Billy was a big boy. And he would get...
Billy was raised by very strict Catholic parents where the father was a deacon and he was a strict asshole.
Yeah, see... Now,
so the anger came out in Patrick sometimes.
The Billy I knew was from Catholic school, but his father was not a deacon.
No,
he was a Cub Scout captain.
They were like strict
owner.
Like he was a deacon. She was a Eucharistic minister.
Eucharistic minister.
Eucharistic minister. Those were for those who don't know Catholicism. So Eucharistic minister.
That's when you get the bread chips.
You can get the. Excuse me. It's the body of Christ and the host. You're allowed to give those out to people. A Eucharistic minister is one step above that. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, a deacon's one step above that. A deacon's like the highest you can go without being in the clergy. You can get trained to be a deacon. Anyway, so yeah, he was a little angry because of that. I think his parents were strict, and he took it out on Pat sometimes. But we played Sega Genesis a lot. We Altered Beast, and he had all the NHL games, and we would listen to Queen and gangster rap. So in the early 90s, Pat was listening to gangster rap, and I didn't love it. I was a little offended by some of the lyrics when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, but playing NHL, I got it. And he also had the Ewok Village in the box that I wanted to buy from him. He never sold it to me. Also, Ian, this was how I knew I loved retro games.
Okay.
Because he had an Atari 2600. And he had that 50 games. He probably got it in the mid-'80s when they were worth nothing. And I asked him, I wanted that. I liked playing. I always asked him, can we play the Atari? And I had little experience with the Atari, just my cousins had it. But I was fascinated by the Atari when I was like 10 years old. And I wanted to buy it from him, and his parents wouldn't let me buy it. So I was into retro gaming in like 1990, and I just couldn't get
I bought my Atari 5200 when I was 10 from a flea market.
I was fascinated.
Yeah, me too. Billy, Billy. However, I did get to play. I got to play games on his Tandy.
Oh, yeah, the Tandy.
Yeah, that's where I first played.
IBM PC
Ghostbusters. Yeah, that's where I first played Ghostbusters. I played the Commando port, and
the one that I have. The one that with the bad one, not the Commodore one, which is good.
Yeah, no, the bad one. And then what was the last one? Oh, Spy vs. Spy, the PC version.
We're getting off topic. We're talking about how our Billies and Kevins are somewhat similar in ways. Except mine beat me up every now and then.
Yeah.
The one time when I was hanging out, again, I was the youngest kid in the block, boy-wise. So my sister was dating a guy from the other block who was like a year older named Scott. This Scott was kind of a dick, but he was like a good guy deep down.
Sure.
Scott's usually like that.
He was a little aloof.
This one was just a little bit edgy. Like, he stole like stuff from the Herman Sporting Goods store in the mall, but he wouldn't do anything violent or anything.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
I personally do not have a pattern of Scotts.
Okay.
But
this was my Scott. This is my Scott because like he could like be a dick to me, but he wouldn't do anything over the line with me. He would kind of protect me. So this was like probably like a January, February.
I had a Robert that was that way.
Okay, my Robert was a piece of shit who ended up being good later in life. Anyway, so I said something to Billy. I made fun of him for something. This is in front of like 8 to 10 kids on the block hanging out like a Saturday night. He threw me into the wet ice puddle.
Oh,
Billy did, and I was friends with Billy, and Scott chased him down the block. He was like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry." And Scott chased him down the block and like, so you better apologize. I made him apologize for me, partially because he was dating my sister. My sister was probably like 13, 14.
Sure.
And I was like 10, but he still did the right thing and Billy apologized to me. I'm sorry, Pat. I have some tales from my neighborhood I can probably talk about, honestly.
Oh yeah,
I had a very interesting neighborhood. Sorry, we totally went off topic. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
But those are our experiences playing playing games with other kids.
Particularly Kevin's and Billy's.
Particularly Kevin's and Billy's. I guess what annoyed me, with Billy was playing NWA too much when I was a kid. And too much 2 Live Crew, a little bit too much for me. A little bit too, not that I was going to go out and go to a booty shaking party, but I'm 10 years old. I don't need to listen to that.
Pop that pussy.
Yes, exactly. On the box. Music, television, you control.